Okay, Monday, the first lesson of the week. We're going to do some revision of the problems that I gave you in each lesson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the solutions to each of the problems. And if you have any issues or comments or questions, you can just leave it in the comments or you can simply contact me. All right. Yeah, that's it. So let's just jump straight into it. And we're going to do the addition and subtraction of polynomials. Just going to change this to yellow. And let's start. So we have 3x to the second plus 4x plus 6. And then we're going to take that and add it to 2x to the second minus 5x minus 4. So I'm just going to group whatever terms are the same. So for example, these two terms are the exact same, these two terms are the exact same, and these two terms are the exact same. When I say they're the exact same, I'm talking about their degree. They have the exact same degree. So this is second degree, first degree, first degree. So I'm going to have here 3x squared plus 2x squared plus 4x minus 5x plus 6 minus 4. And that's all working. So we combine these. This is 5x squared plus, sorry, minus, well, I should put plus, minus x plus, and then this is 2. So this is the final answer is 5x squared minus x plus 2. Now, we did this, and when we were doing factorization, I want to show you what's actually happening here, right? Why is it we choose to do this, right? Why did we choose to add the 3x squared to the 2x squared? So we have 3x squared plus 2x squared. And when we factorize this, we're going to get x squared into 3 plus 2. Now, 3 plus 2 is a number that we can actually, are numbers that we can actually add. So 3 and 2 is 5, and that's how we get 5x. So when I do this addition here, what I'm essentially doing is I'm factorizing the common factor of x squared, and then I am adding the numbers that remain, and that's how I get 5x squared. And that's essentially what you're doing for every single one of them. And you can think of this x squared as some kind of object. So you can think of this as, you can say, okay, 3 apples plus 4 oranges plus 6 plus 2 apples minus 5 oranges minus 4. And notice that we add apples with apples, which is the x squared and the x squared, and oranges with oranges, which is the x and the x, and then the final 6 with the 4. All right. So we want to add objects that have the same term, well, the same common factor. All right, the same common factor. So 8 squared, x squared in here, x here, and this has no common factor other than the digits itself. All right. So let me just go forward and keep explaining, and we'll do some more solutions. So for this one, we're seeing 7x cubed minus x squared plus 4x minus 10. You know what? I'm just going to take this entire thing here and just copy and paste it so that I don't have to keep writing these things over. And Control V, I'm going to put this over here, and we're going to put this in yellow. All right. So I'm going to group the terms that are similar. So I'm going to group this here and this here. Then I'm going to group this here and this here. Then I'm going to group this here and this here. Then I'm going to group this here and this here. All right, so group those together and add them. So we have 7x cubed plus 5x squared. Sorry, we have to minus these. Minus 5x cubed. All right, so we have a minus sign in between here, so we have to minus them. Adding to minus x squared minus, open bracket, 3x squared plus 4x minus 6x plus minus 10 minus 8. All right, so this here would give me 2x to the third power minus 4x squared. Then this and this is a plus, so that's 10. And then minus and minus, this would be negative 18. And with the plus, it's going to become negative 18. All right, so that's the final answer. Let's do the third one. So the third one would be this one. And I'm going to start moving a little bit faster so that we can finish all of these really quickly. All right, so just put this here, yellow. Good. Take off this, put a bracket closing off on the end here. All right, so we're going to group the terms together. So we have here 4x to the fourth power plus x to the fourth power plus negative 2x squared plus 3x squared plus 6 plus negative 7. And then we're going to have here 5x to the fourth. Then these two adding together will give me positive x squared, and then these two positives will just be a positive, so positive x squared. Then I have these two here is going to give me a minus, so 6 minus 7 will be minus 1, and the minus 1 with the plus out in front is going to give me minus, so minus 1. Let's do the fourth one. And this is the fourth one. Yellow. Right. Okay, let's try this one. So we're going to group the 8x to the fifth minus 6x to the fifth plus minus x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth plus 5x minus 3x plus minus 4 plus minus 9. All right, so we're grouping these two together. That's minus 2, sorry, not minus 2, positive 2x to the fifth. And then this here gives me a positive, so that is negative x plus, sorry, negative 1 plus 1. So negative 1 plus 2, sorry. Negative 1 plus 2 is just simply positive 1, so we have positive 1x to the fourth power. Then this here, the 5 minus 3 will give me 2, so that is plus 5 minus 3, which is 2x. And then this sign here is negative, so minus 4 minus 9 is going to be minus 13. And then minus and a plus is going to give me a minus, so that's minus 13. All right, and on the last one, I'm not going to go into so much detail. I'm just going to put it down. Just add these together. Yellow. Right, so with this one here, we have minus 4x to the third power plus 5x to the third power. Then we have 7x to the second power plus minus 9x to the second power plus minus x plus 4x, and then plus 3 minus, sorry, plus minus 6, right? And I'm putting it in brackets just so that you know I'm moving the number with the sign in front of it into these. All right, so this here would be a positive 1, so minus 4 plus 5 is 1 x to the third. Then this here would be a minus sign, so 7 minus 9 is going to be minus 2, so I'm going to say plus minus 2. And this sign up here is going to give me a negative sign, so minus 2x squared. Then I'm going to get positive, negative 1 plus 4 will be positive 3. And the positive is going to give me a positive, so I'm going to say positive 3x. And then this here is going to be negative. So 3 minus 6 will give me minus 3. And then the negative with the positive is going to give me a next minus, so I'm going to have minus 3 here. All right, so that's the answers for the first section. Let's go on to the next section now. So lesson 2, we're required to learn how to multiply and divide polynomials. So I'm just going to simplify each of these. Let's start with the first one. I'm going to put that here in yellow. This is going to call 1. All right, so I'm going to take distributive law and apply it here. So multiply this by this, that by that, and I'm going to get 5x into 4x plus 5x into 7. And I'm going to get 20x squared plus 7 5s are 35x x. All right. Let's go to the next one, 2, which is this one here. Just copy and paste that as well. So this is the next question here. And the answer is as follows. So I'm going to take this and multiply it here. I'm going to take this and multiply it here. And let me just put those two down first. So I'll have x into x plus x into 4 plus, and then I'm going to do the other two, so which is this by this, and then this by this. So I'm going to have minus 3 into x plus minus 3 into 4. And the answers are x squared plus 4x minus, minus 3x. So this by this is minus 3x, and then this and this is going to give me a minus sign, so minus 3x. Then this by this is going to give me minus 12, and then this and this is going to give me minus 12. Right? So minus 12. As you can notice, after a while I'm doing this on reflex, and I'm not even bothering to check the signs because I already get enough experience to know how to work with my signs. Alright? So I'll try and stop myself from doing that so that I can point out exactly what's happening and you don't get confused. Okay, I did that wrong. So this here is 4x's minus 3x's, and we're going to get 1x remaining minus 12. All right, then we go to number 3. That's number 3 is a division, and it's looking like a regular fractional division. So let me just put that there. Control C, V here. All right, so let's simplify this. And first thing you do is rewrite everything as an individual fraction. So we have 8x to the third power over 4x minus 4x to the second power over 4x plus 12x over 4x. Then we cancel and simplify, factorize and simplify, whichever one you choose to see. We have 1x canceling with 1x up here and leaving 2x's. 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 8 is 2. So we have 2x to the second power. 1x here cancels with 1x here, leaves 1x remaining. 4 cancels with 4. 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 4, 1. And we have minus x. Then we have x cancels with x. 4 cancels here and give me 3 remainder. So that means I have 3 over here. And that's our answer. Let's go to the fourth one. So number 4. Which is this one here. And we're going to take the distributive law and apply it here as well. So I'm going to take this multiply by this multiply by this, and this multiply by this. That's the 3. So let me just write that out. So I'm going to have x into x squared plus x into minus 2x plus x into positive 5 plus, and then we're going to do the same thing with the others. So I'm going to take this, multiply it here, take this, multiply it here, and take this and multiply it here. So I'm going to have 1 multiplying with x squared. Then I'm going to have 1 multiplying with negative 2. Oops, negative 2x plus 1 multiplying with 5. Expand and simplify. So 1x multiplied by 2x is going to give me 3x's. 1x by 2x is going to give me negative 2x to the second power, right? Then let's look at this. So this is 5 by x is going to give me 5x plus, I just switched the color. I didn't have a reason for switching it. Then we have x by x, 1 by x squared, which is just simply x squared. Then we have negative 2 by 1, which is going to give me negative 2x, and then these signs together is going to give me a negative here, so it's negative 2x. And then I have 1 by 5, which is 5. And then I'm seeing terms that are similar, which is this one here, and this one here. And then I'm seeing this one here, and this one here. So I'm going to group those and add them together, and I'm going to get x to the third power. And then when I take the x squareds and work with them, simplify them, I should say, I will get minus x squared. And you can take your time and work that out if you don't see how I make that jump. Then we have 5x minus 2x, which is going to give me plus 3x and then plus 5. And that's the final answer there. And then we're going to have number 5. Let me just take number 5 here. Number 5, we need more space. Right. So I'm going to break this down and do synthetic division on it. So I'm going to be breaking down, I'm going to take the coefficients of each one here. So 1, negative 6, positive 11, and then negative 6. And then from this, I get that what I'm dividing by is supposed to be a 1. All right. So I'm just going to solve this with x minus 1 equal to 0. And that would imply that x is going to be equal to 1. All right. So let me just do the synthetic division on the side. So I have 1, I have negative 6, and then I have 11, and then I have negative 6. All right. So let's do that division. So I'm going to come here, put my 1 over here, and this is my working here. So I'm going to bring this down, it's 1, multiply these two, it's 1, plus these two, it's going to be minus 5. Multiply these two, it's negative 5. I'm going to add these two, I'm going to get 6, and I'm going to multiply these two again here now. Multiply these two, I get 6, add these two, I get 0, so that means I have 1 minus 5 and x. So that means that x to the third power minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 divided by x minus 1 is going to give me 1 x to the 1 less power than here. So that's squared. And since it's already 1 is understood, 1x is understood as just simply x, I can just simply get rid of this. Then I have negative 5x, which is the next number. Then I have 6, so that's positive 6x. And then I have this 0 on the end here, which tells me that my remainder is 0, meaning that I don't have a remaining polynomial at the end here. So this here is the answer of this divided by this. All right. Now remember, this only works when you're dividing by something that has the form of ax minus b. All right. Let's go on to the next one, number 6. All right. Number 6. Let's see, we're going to do, okay, so this one here is a quadratic equation, so I can't just do the regular division that I normally do. Now, I did not teach you factorization yet, so I can't factorize this and expect you to be able to factorize this here or do that division there. So what I require you to do in this one is to do long division. So we're doing polynomial long division in this case. So first off, we're going to put our dividend. So our dividend is x squared plus, sorry, our divisor, not dividend, divisor. So our divisor goes here. Then we're going to put our dividend. Our dividend is 2x to the third power plus 5x to the second power minus 3x plus 4. Then I am going to try and figure out my quotient. Now remember, what I'm doing is I'm taking this first term here, which is the 2x to the third power. I'm dividing it by x squared, which is going to give me 2x, a positive 2x in this case. And that is what I'm going to be using up here, right? Positive 2x is what I'm going to be using up here. And then I'm going to apply distributive law to each of these inside of here so that I'll be able to solve for each of them. All right, well, find the other polynomial when I'm multiplying. So I'm doing that multiplication and I'm going to get, I have to put a negative sign, open bracket. The first one is definitely going to be this. And then the next one is going to be positive 2x to the second and then negative 2x. I'm going to do that subtraction. That subtraction shows me that the first one here between these two is going to be 0. Then this subtraction between these two is going to be positive 3. Now remember, I'm doing the same type of polynomial addition and subtraction that I've been doing previously. Right? What I'm doing here is I'm essentially taking this entire thing, treating it as a polynomial, and I'm subtracting this entire thing inside of here. So this is polynomial addition subtraction that I'm doing here. All right, so this is 5x squared minus 2x squared, and then we have minus x minus minus 2, which is going to be minus 3 plus 2, which is going to be minus x. And then I'm going to bring down the last term, which is the positive 4. All right, now I'm going to do the exact same thing again. I'm going to do it in a different color so you can see. So I'm going to take the highest power out in front, which is the positive 3x squared, and I'm going to divide it by the x squared. And when I do that division, I'm going to divide here, I'm going to get 3, so I'm going to get here positive 3. And I do that multiplication, minus open bracket 3 by x squared is going to give me 3x squared. I'm just going to show you, I'm multiplying this by this, I'm multiplying this by this, and then I'm multiplying this by this. All right, so that is 3x squared plus 3x and then minus 3. All right, do that polynomial addition subtraction, and I'm going to get 0 here out in front with these two. Then with these two, I'm going to get minus 4x. And then with these two, I'm going to get 4 plus 3, which is 7. Positive 7. And I can't go any further with the division because this polynomial inside of here, this linear polynomial inside of here, has powers less than this here. So the degree of this polynomial is 1 and the degree of this polynomial is 2. So as long as the condition is that the degree of the polynomial here is less than the degree of the polynomial here, then that means we stop. All right, that means we stop. So I'm just going to work out this now. So this here divided by this is going to be as follows. The answer is going to be equivalent to the dividend that we have on top here. Sorry, not the dividend, the quotient that we have on top here. 2x plus 3. And then the quadratic that we have inside here, which, sorry, no, not the quadratic, plus this here, which is negative 4x plus 7 divided by the divisor, which is x squared plus x minus 1. All right, let me do a quick explanation of what happened here. So let's say, for instance, that I have 7 dividing by 2, and I say that 3 2s are 6, and I minus the 6. I'm going to get a remainder of 1. All right, I'm going to get a remainder of 1. How will I write that? So 7 divided by 2 is going to be equal to 3 plus a remainder of 1 divided by what we were dividing by, which is half. And notice that's what I did. So the 3 is comparable to your quotient that you get here. Your 2 is comparable to your divisor that you have over here. Your 1 is comparable to your remainder that you have over here. And your 7 is comparable to your dividend, which you have over here. All right? So that explains what happens there. So I did the division, I got this plus a little bit on the end. Now you can just mess around with this a little bit and get your negative in front there. So you can put something like this and put a negative 4x here. I should put this negative, a minus sign here, and put 4x plus 7 all over x squared plus x minus 1. All right, so that's that solution there. And let's go on to the next one, which is what, number 7, and that's the last one. So let's do number 7. And Control V, number 7. All right, so with this one, we can do a synthetic division again. So let's pull out the coefficients, which is 3 for this one. We don't have an x squared, so that we don't have an x squared here, so that's 0x squared. So that's the next coefficient. Then we pull out the next coefficient, which is a minus 6, and then the last coefficient, which is a 7. So we have the coefficients are 3, 0, negative 6, and 7. And then what we're doing is we're dividing when we'll put this equal to 0, and we're going to get that this implies that x is equal to minus 2. So I'm going to put minus 2 out in front of here. All right, let's start the problem. Let's start the solution. So I'm going to bring down this 3. I'm going to multiply these two. I'm going to get minus 6. I'm going to add them, and I'm going to get negative 6 here. I'm going to multiply these two. I'm going to get positive 12. I'm going to add these together, and I'm going to get positive 6 here. I'm going to multiply these two. I'm going to get negative 12. I'm going to add these together. I'm going to get positive 5 here. All right, so let's see what we get here now. So when I do this division, I am going to end up with this polynomial here. Sorry, this here. All right, and it's going to be 3x to the second power minus 6x plus 6. And then I'm going to have a remainder. The remainder is 5 divided by the divisor, which is this, x plus 2. And that's my answer. All right? So that's my answer for this when I do that division. Let's go on to the next and see where we're at. Number 3, or lesson 3 is factorization. Okay, so these factorizations are not going to take very long. All right? Well, it's not supposed to take very long. So let's do them out. I won't hurry up. Let me take my time. So let's see. So we have 6x plus 12, and we recognize that we have to find the HCF of the factors 6 and 12. And as again, I am saying that we use polynomial factorization, which is 2 times 3. And then we have 2 times 2 times 3, which is simply 2 to the second power times 3 times 3. And notice that the common factors are 2. The common factors are 2 and 3, which gives me 6. All right. So I'm going to pull out 6 from here. I'm going to say here 6x divided by 6 is going to give me just simply x. So I'm going to have here x, or 6 into x. And then I'm going to have a positive 12 here divided by 6, and I'm going to get 2, positive 2. So I'm going to put positive 2 here. And that's the factorization of that. All right? All of this is done mentally. All right? All of this is done mentally. So you only need to go from here to here. All right? I'm just writing out my thought processes so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. So let's see. So we have 8x to the third power minus 4x to the second power. All right, so first off, I want the highest power of the common coefficients, which is simply in this case x squared. And then I have 8 and I have 4, which I have to find the HCF of. And if you know, this here is 2 by 2 by 2, which is 2 to the third power. And this here is 2 by 2, which is just simply 2 to the second power. And then that means I will have a common factor of 2 to the second power. So my HCF is 2 to the second power and the lowest power of the coefficients or the variables, and that is x to the second power. So that is 4x squared. So I'm going to take each one and divide it by 4x squared. 8x to the third divided by 4x squared is going to give me 2x. And then I have minus 4x squared divided by 4x squared. And this here would be minus 1. So I'm going to have that. This here can be factorized into 4x squared into 2x minus 1. And that's the answer there. All right, let's go on to the little bit more complicated ones. So this is number 3. Control C, Control V, put it here. And let's see, we have to look at the common of the variables. So let's look, we have the variables. For the variables, we have x alone in common. The y is not in common, and the z is not in common. Then for 14 and 21, as I said, I like the prime factorization. So we'll go with 2 times 7, and then this here would be 3 times 7. And notice that we only have 7 in common. All right, only 7 in common. So the HCF is going to be 7 times x, which is 7x. And then we're going to work out the variables. So I have 14xy divided by 7x, and that is going to be 2y. Then I have, what's the next one? The next one is negative 21xz divided by 7x here, 3, so that's negative 3z. And work that out. So that is, let's see, 7x into 2y minus 3z. All right, let's go on to the fourth one. Number 4. Now this one here, definitely have to use prime factorization instead of the division rule that we have. Right, so Control C and then Control V here. Here. Right. So let's see, we're going to do this one now, and we're looking at the variables first. So let's look at the x variables. So in the first one, we have x to the 5, that's the lowest power so far. Then we have x to the 4, now this is the next lowest power. Then we have x to the third, which is the third lowest power. So yeah, we're going with x to the third power in terms of the variables that are in common. Then we have y to the third power, that's the lowest we have so far. That is y to the fourth, that's not the lowest that we have so far. So we stick with y to the third. Then we have y to the third, which is the same as the original. So yes, y to the third power. And then we have to find the HCF of 24, 16, and 8. So 8, 16, 24, we have to find the HCF of. So this is 2 to the third power, which we already work out. This is 2 to the fourth power, which is very easy. Then this one here is 2 to the third power times 3. Right? 2 to the third power times 3. So we can see that what is in common here is 2 to the third power. So we have 2 to the third power times x to the third power times y to the third power, which means our HCF is going to be equal to 2 twos or 4 twos are 8x to the third power y to the third power. And that's what we have to use for our divisions. So I'm going to put outside here 8x to the third power y to the third power. And then I'm going to do each division and put the results inside the bracket. So I'm going to start off here with 24x to the 5 y to the third. And divide this here by 8x to the third y to the third power. So this here cancels with this completely. This here leaves 2 remaining, and this here leaves 3. So I'm going to have 3x to the second power. So I have 3x to the second power. Let's do the next one. I'm going to use a different color. So let's see, negative 16x to the fourth y to the fourth divided by 8x to the third y to the third. So I leave one y here and I leave one x remaining here, and this here is 2. So I'm going to have here negative 2, 1x and 1y remaining. So this here is negative 2xy. And then let's do the last one, which is the positive 8x to the third power y to the third power divided by 8x to the third power y to the third power. So I have none remaining here, and 1 remaining here. So this is a positive 1. All right. Now, again, all of this here is done mentally. And if you're not comfortable doing it mentally, that's okay. You can go ahead and do all of this. All right. Take your time and do all of this. But most of the time, all of this is done mentally. All right, let's do another one. So I think we have number 5 to do next, and that's the last one. So let me add a new page, and we'll do number 5. So let me just copy and paste this one here. Oopsie. And number 5, Control V. All right. Let's see what we do with this one now. So we're looking again first at the variables. So we're looking at x first. I see x to the fourth here, and I don't believe this is supposed to be an x. I think this is supposed to be an a, but hold on. If it is that it's an a, a to the fourth power, right? If it's a to the fourth power, then that's the lowest so far. A to the third, this is now the lowest. So I'll just remove this here, and then we have a to the third. This here is still the lowest. So I can leave it as x to a to the third. I'm going to believe that this here is supposed to be a to the third power. All right. Now, if it is that it has x in the problems that I gave you, then work with x. All right, work with x. And that would mean you're only interested in b and c, since b and c is the only terms in common afterwards. All right. Anyway, so this here is to the third power. Then this here is to the fourth power, but that is lower than what we previously found, so that's not the right one. Then this here is to the third power, which is the same as the one that we previously found, so we're keeping that. Then we have c to the first power over here, which is the lowest I can see so far. Then c to the second, not lower than c to the first. Then c to the first, which is exactly the same as c to the first one. So we have a to the third power, we have b to the third power, and we have c. Right? So a to the third power, we have b to the third power, and we have c. So we identify the lowest powers in each. Then we are looking at the numbers 15, 30, and 45. All right, so let's find the HCF of these three. So I am saying 3 by 5 to give me 15. All right, and then I'm saying 2 by 3 by 5 to give me 30. And then 3 by 3 by 5 to give me 45. And I'm seeing that the only thing in common is this positive 3, positive 5 here. So I'm saying that the HCF is 3 by 5, which is 15, a to the third, b to the third, c. All right, and let's do the divisions, each of them, and we'll put our answer. So I'm going to have here 15 a to the third, b to the third, c into, and I'm just going to have here 30 a to the fourth, b to the third, c divided by 15 a to the third, b to the third, c. So c's cancels, b's cancels, and this leaves 1, this leaves 2. So I'm going to have here 2a to the first power. So 2a to the first power. All right, then we have the next one, which is negative 45a cubed b to the fourth, c to the second, divided by 15a to the third, b to the third, c. And this here leaves 1, this here leaves 1, this here leaves 0, and this here is 3. So I'm going to have here negative 3, no a's, 1b, and 1c. Oopsie, that's supposed to be a c. All right, so I'm going to have negative 3bc. Then we go on to 15. So the next one is 15 a to the third, b to the third, c divided by 15 a to the third, b to the third, c. And this cancels 0, 0, 0, 1. So that is just simply equal to 1. So plus 1. And this is our answer. And again, all of this here is done mentally. Right? All of that is done mentally. If you can't do it mentally, again, just work with what you can do. All right, and that is that factorization. And let me see, this is number 4, right? This is grouping, factorization by grouping. This is from lesson 4. Let's work on this one here now. So we have, let me just, this one here. Okay, so we have factorization by grouping, and I'm just going to take this here and copy and paste and put it right here. All right, so I'm going to factorize by grouping. So now I'm going to take this, group it into pairs. So I'm taking these two pairs, and I'm just going to write through this quickly. Common factor is x into x plus 5, as I did my division, similar to what I just did. Then I'm taking out a common factor of 2 into x plus 5. I have x plus 5 and x plus 5, so I say x plus 5 into x plus 2, and that's that. Let's do number 2. Number 2 is, whoo, that doesn't have normal variables, but we'll still do it the same way. Doesn't take a difference. Doesn't take anything different to do. Right? Doesn't take anything different to do. Let me just put this out here. All right. And let's group in pairs. So we group in the first two, we group in the last two, and I'm taking out 4a here, and I'm going to remain with b minus 2 inside of here. And I'm just going to take out b out here, so I'm going to end up with b minus 2 in here. And then I have b minus 2 into 4a plus b, and that's our factorization there. All right, next one, let's do number 3. Number 3, the rain is starting to fall, I'm sorry. Number 3 is this one here, Control C, Control V. I'm going to put this over here. And this one here, factorized by grouping again. We're going to group this with this and this with this. I'm going to take out the x to the second power, remain with x plus 2. I'm going to take out negative 1 and remain with x plus 2. And then I'm going to have x plus 2 in common to both of them, and x squared minus 1 as the remainder. Then I do number 4, which is this one here. Let me just erase this and move this. Right, let's factorize by grouping again. So I have this with this, this with this. I'm going to have 3xy into x plus 2y. And then I'm going to have minus 2 into x plus 2y. And then I'm going to have x plus 2y into 3xy minus 2. Then we do in number 5, and that's the last one with this lesson. Control C, Control V, put this over here. And I'm going to group this pair here and this pair here. So I'm going to have x squared into 2x minus 1, and then minus 4 into 2x minus 1. And then I have the 2x minus 1 in common, with the x squared minus 4. And that is that. Let's see, what next? So that's number 5, and then we're going on to this one here, factorizing quadratic expressions. And this will be the last set of problems that we work on today. We'll do some more tomorrow. All right, so let's see. So this one here, so we have x squared plus 7x plus 12, and again we're looking at the factors of 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, and I'm noticing that if I add these two I will get 7. So I'm saying x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12, and I'm going to group these into pairs, and I'm going to get x into x plus 3 and then plus 4 into x plus 3, and that is going to give me x plus 3 into x plus 4. Next one, 2, which is 3x squared minus x minus 4. Again, that is negative 12. The factors are 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. And we're looking for a negative 4 when we add. So if I have a negative 1, so that means not that one, not 2, 6, but 3, 4. So if I have a negative 4 and a positive 3, it's going to work. So I'm saying 3x squared, a negative 4, and a positive 3 is going to work to split it. And I'm going to have minus 4 here, minus 4 there. And then I'm going to end up with x into 3x minus 4, and then plus 1 into 3x minus 4, and then it'll have 3x minus 4 into x plus 1. Let me write this 3 better than that. All right, let's do the next one, number 3. Number 3, 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. So we have minus 24 here. So it's 1, 24, 2, 12, 3, 8, 4, 6. And then we just go in the loop 4 by 6, 8 by 3, and so on and so on. I'm looking for a negative 5, and I'm looking to see that this here has a difference of 5 in between them. So if I use a negative 8 with a positive 3, that's going to give me a negative 5. So 2x squared minus 8x plus 5x, plus 3x, minus 12. And we're getting this pair with this pair, and we have 2x into x minus 4. And then we have plus 3 into x minus 4, which is x minus 4 and 2x plus 3. That's the fourth one. So the fourth one is x squared minus 9. So 4x squared minus 9. Now, I showed you how to do this in the next lecture. Right? I showed you how to do this in the next lecture. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it the other way. So I'm going to rewrite this first off. I'm going to say 4x squared minus 0x minus 9. Or I can say plus 9. Doesn't matter. Then I'm finding 4 times negative 9 is going to give me negative 36. Factors are 1 by 36, 2 by 18, 3 by 12, 4 by 9, 6 by 6. And this one here, when I add these together, I will get 0, right? So if I take a negative 6 and a positive 6, I will get 0. So I'm using that to split. So I'm using that to split, and I will get 4x squared minus 6x plus 6x minus 9. And I'm factorizing these pairs right here, so I'm going to get 2x into 2x minus 3, and then I'm going to factorize here positive 3, so I'm going to have here 2x minus 3, and then I have 2x minus 3, and I have 2x minus 3. Sorry, 2x plus 3. Then number 5, and we're going to have 5x squared plus 13x plus 6. 5x squared plus 13x plus 6. And again, we're multiplying. We get 30 factors: 1, 30, 2, 15, 3, 10, 5, 6, and reverse. And we're seeing which one will give me 13. Okay, positive 3 plus 10 is 13. So I'm saying 5x squared plus 3x plus 10x plus 6. Group this, I'm going to get x into 5x plus 3, and group that with 2, and I'm going to say positive 2 into 5x plus 3. So I'm going to get 5x plus 3, and then I'm going to get x plus 2. And that's the answer for that one. All right, so that's it. I'll see you tomorrow as we continue this.